The double parshiot of Tazria Metzora are amongst my least favourite for bar and bat mitzvahs. The theme is impurity, illness, separation and isolation. A large number of the commentators connect the spiritual leprosy of the Metzora with speaking Lashon Hara. It begins by permeating your walls and eventually destroys your clothes and body. It is a miraculous metaphor and an alarm call to better living. Not all commentators see it in exclusively divine terms. In the Talmud, Rabbi Yochanan states that the disease of the Metzora was not found in Babylon because they ate green leafy vegetables, drank beer, and washed in the river. The Ralbag, Rabbi Levi ben Gershon, was a 12th century Provençal philosopher, physician, mathematician, astronomer, Talmudic and Torah commentator, as well as an inventor. He explains the symptoms of rotting and discoloration in terms of the natural consequences of moisture and warmth. On the verse in Vayikra, where Hashem says, "V'natati nega tzarat," I shall afflict the tzarat plague, Ralbag notes that the V'natati means no more than Hashem is the originator of everything. Ralbag's general view is that we are all open to natural affliction, and not every individual merits or should imagine him or herself to be worthy of direct divine intervention in our natural lives. That is to say, we should not automatically assume that everything that happens to us is a personal message from Hashem. Of course, it does not mean a regular individual is so unworthy that his or her prayers for Hashem's attention will go unnoticed or unanswered. On the contrary, it is all the more meritorious to call on Hashem without getting a reminder. Indeed, my mother makes the same observation about me calling her during the week. Ralbag is atypical here. Most of the commentators do look at the V'natati, I shall afflict, as signalling a specifically divine plague. Beyond the regulation that the Metzora self-isolate outside the camp was a requirement that he cover himself up to his lips. Elaborating on this, the Talmud and commentators say that his collar or scarf be drawn fully over his mouth. In part, this is connected with the ritual of mourning, in which the faces were wrapped in one's headdress in the manner of the Ishmaelites. The Ibn Ezra addresses the idea of symbolism. We are in mourning for whatever circumstances have occasioned our affliction. He adds, though, that covering the mouth is to stop us exhaling noxious breath and thereby endangering others. Covering our mouths is not about us, it's about our responsibility for others. As carriers of affliction, isolation is a protection of those around too. If it is part of a punishment for Lashon Hara, being separated is also a reminder that we should be mindful of the value of community ties. The parasha and commentaries inspire poignant and timely reflection. How important, how much we value community. We do not want a new normal which sees us cocooned from social interaction. How dependent we are on so many people around us. Suddenly the delivery drivers are our saviours and checkout assistants are on the front line. Some days they're the only people we see to speak to. We're focusing more and more on health and healthy living, hygiene and hand washing, maintaining a diet which supports our immune system. Green leafy vegetables are good for our diet. Note to self though, careful who you approach for medical advice. Drinking disinfectant or injecting Dettol is not, I repeat, not recommended. The jury seems to be out on masks for the general public, but Ibn Ezra's advice remains good. Careful what you breathe out and over whom, for the physical danger it may cause. And the rabbi's general advice, be careful with our words. Those too can kill. It is our prayer that our isolation and mourning be ended. May this become a month of health and healing. On Wednesday we celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut. May Hashem, who has granted us miracles of salvation in modernity, grant rest to all who have perished, comfort to all who mourn, and the blessing of peace and arichat yamim to all Israel. Shabbat Shalom and Chodesh Tov.